My name is Sydney and I'm the Scotland Youth Programs Coordinator for UJIA, and I want to talk to you a little bit today about space. Not outer space, but inner space, and how it relates to the holiday of Sukkot, which is right around the corner. Sukkot is this holiday where we celebrate the time that the Jewish people were in the desert. So they left Egypt and they wandered in the desert for 40 years until they got to Israel, to the promised land. So on Sukkot, we have a few different things that we do. The first is called a Lulav and Etrug, and we have this plant, which is made of 4 different things. A Lulav, which is a palm branch, a willow or a arava, a myrtle or a hadas, and an etrug or a citron. And we bring them together, we say the blessing, and we shake them all around, and that's what we do on Sukkot. The second thing we do on Sukkot is sit in a sukkah, and a sukkah is where we are now. It's also called in English a booth or a hut. And we go in the sukkah, it has temporary walls, it has leaves on the roof, and we eat here and we do all sorts of things in the sukkah for the entire holiday of Sukkot. Sukkot is really about physical objects, right? We're coming right after Yom Kippur, and Yom Kippur is this holiday where we're distancing ourselves from our physical needs, right? We're not eating, we're not drinking, we're not wearing comfortable shoes. And Sukkot, we come and we have all of these physical items which are so important. We have the lulav and the etrog and the sukkah. We have all of these physical objects, and it's showing us how what we're really trying to do is connect with the physical things in our lives. Physical spaces can make a really big difference. What we choose to surround ourselves with, what we live in, what our houses look like, what our bedrooms look like, these can really affect the way that we feel. The same thing works. Do we surround ourselves with friends who build us up, who make us into better people, or do we surround ourselves with friends who make us make sometimes not so good decisions? When we listen to music, do we listen to music that makes us feel happy and excited, or do we listen to music that makes us sad, right? It's all about surrounding ourselves with things that help us be better people. And Sukkot is a prime example of that because we're building something physical, which gives us a really physical reminder of what we're doing and how. Judaism is not a physical space, right? We have physical spaces. We have synagogues, we have schools, we have our houses. We do a lot of our Jewish practices in our houses, but ultimately we are Jewish inside. We feel it inside. It's a feeling for us. Let's think about Israel. So we have this country, Israel, which is a Jewish country. Obviously, there's lots of different people who live in the country, but the primary religion of the country is Judaism, is the Jewish religion. And this is the only country in the world where Judaism is the primary religion. In Israel, we get to experience our Judaism in a really different way than we do here in the UK. We can go to physical spaces of Jewish history. We're not learning about the history, we're not talking about it, but we're physically going there and we're physically seeing. On Sukkot, Jewish people from all around Israel would come to Jerusalem, to the temple, and they would bring their harvest because Sukkot is a harvest festival. And so they would bring their basket of harvest and they would bring it to the temple. And when you're in Israel, you can go to that physical place where they did that and you can visit it. And that's a really tangible type of history and a really tangible type of experience. Where are we sitting right now? So this is a textile studio. It belongs to my friend Nettie. And it used to be a church, and the church was taken and converted into this art school, and it's full of all sorts of fascinating things. There's big spaces for all of the students to work. Nettie is a hat maker, so there's lots of fun hats for us to try on. This one, very stylish, or this one's a bit fancier. Okay, so we're here with my friend Nettie, who co-owns this amazing textile center, and she's going to tell us a bit about the space. So, where are we?
We are actually in a converted church, so you can see it's quite a high ceiling perhaps, and some open stonework, so it indicates it was a church at some point. But myself and my colleague, we have converted it into a textile school.
So when you got this church, it was a church, and then you turned it into this school. So how did you decide what went where?
Well, when we got the church, it was very dusty and smelly and lots of little nails. So we had to clean and gut it, and we got the builders in.
How did it feel, like, from when you had this idea that, like, I want to start a textile school, to when you actually had your first class? Like, how did that feel for you as a person doing this?
It was, of course, being in a new, sparkly new space, it's just wonderful. It was a little bit of a continuation what I had done before in smaller spaces, but now it felt more generous, it felt more, we could offer and give more to our students and tutors.
Do you have advice for the students if they want to start something big once they, either now or when they finish school? Do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, my advice would be to start small and be steady and just keep working on what you're doing, believe in it, get help from your friends, family, neighbors, and just build on what you've got, potentially quite slow, but that's where the key of success is, not to go too big too quickly. So just be true to yourself and open-minded and just build up your business slowly.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
So we've just seen a really fascinating example of how one physical space, a church, can be taken and turned into something else, and how thinking intentionally about the physical space, whether that's a church or whether that's a sukkah, can really take the space and help set our intention for what we're trying to accomplish. Now, this year's a bit of an interesting year because usually on Sukkot, we all get together in the sukkah. You go to different families, you go to different friends, maybe you go to the synagogue and we sit in the sukkah and we eat food together and we have a lot of fun celebrating Sukkot as a community. And this year, we're probably not going to be able to do that. So how do we still celebrate Sukkot, and how do we still take this idea of the sukkah and make it exciting and helpful for us? And that's where this idea of inner space comes from. We have this sukkah, this physical space, which is a reminder of the protection that the Jewish people had in the desert. It's a reminder of how we are also protected by all sorts of things that give us strength and guidance, whether that's family, whether that's God, whether that's all sorts of these things that help us and that strengthen us in our lives. But it's also a reminder this year that we also get that from inside of us. We also have strength that comes from inside of us, and we get the opportunity. We shouldn't think of it like, oh, Sukkot is canceled this year, ugh, so sad. We should think of it as we get the opportunity to look for ourselves and to see for ourselves how many amazing things we have surrounding us. So, Shana Tova, Chag, Sukkot Sameach. I hope that you have an amazing Sukkot and an amazing year, and thank you for joining us.